Hey guys. So state of the game's due to start in just a minute. Hey Kane. Taking bets, yeah. I wonder if they will do it. I'm saying the 5th. Don't know what's happened. They've gone offline. You're going for the 12th. Come on, what's going on? So we're just waiting for state of the game to start. What's going on? I'm not getting a state of the game stream. Oh, quick.
It did say it was going to release early December. I have good news and I have bad news for you guys. Can you guess what this is? No, we are not delaying the update. So no, the good news is I can confirm the update is coming out next week.
Something's gone
weird.
weird.
Early December. It is releasing in early December. It is releasing next week. The bad news is that...
Alright guys, I'm having issues with this. I'll try and get back to the beginning of the state of the game stream. I don't know what's going on though.
It announced. It is next week. It is definitely coming out next week. I'm just not able to tell you which day of the week, and I'll let you guys do the speculation.
You have a 1 in 7 chance of getting it right.
Because yes, you know, just look at previous releases and what is the day we usually release updates on. And I may have lost my job right now.
So it's coming out on the 5th by the looks of it then?
Please.
All right.
For now on IGN, community developer from the first division suddenly doesn't show up anymore.
Oh my god. All right.
Do it.
No, I haven't said anything. I haven't said the release date, right? Chat. I didn't give you a release date. All right. Anyway, so what I wanted to mention as well, because we've been working on something, and Hamish in particular, we've been working on something. So what we're going to do when the update actually releases is we want to do a 24-hour stream. So whenever the update releases, whatever the day that is, know that as soon as the servers open, we will go live and we'll do a 24-hour stream with you guys where we're going to be just like playing the game, hanging out with chat, having some devs coming in and talking about the update or whatever, what they ate today, because we like to do that a lot. And yeah, so just make sure to join us, play the game as well, but you can have the live stream in a second screen because we have some cool stuff to actually.
I like that you say cool stuff.
Some cool stuff.
Thanks for not giving spoilers. But you did say I've been working hard on this. But Peter has been coordinating this 24-hour stream as well. It's going to be the whole community team is going to be streaming, right? So I'll be streaming. Yannick will be streaming. We have all the other guys as well.
Yes. So make sure to join us and watch, but also play the game. Do both. Come on. It's 2017. I'm sure you guys have more than one screen. The other thing also global event. So just to mention briefly, as we had said when we talked about the early December release, so the global event number 3 will start the week that follows the release of the update. So as we said, the updates comes out next week, which means the next global event happens 1 week after that. I also don't know exactly what day it's going to start. But yeah, it's going to be the week after that as well. And I also don't know which global event it's going to be and what will be the reward. So definitely can confirm there will be a state of the game next week where we'll give you all the information about this global event.
Can we just clarify that one thing? How I saw someone in chat being like, so the Division are paying big streamers to stream 1.8? That whole rumor thing?
Oh, is it the, yeah, so,
I saw that one again.
Yeah, there's this rumor going on. I see Cyberwolf, just put that in chat now, saying we're paying big streamers. First, I'll be honest, what would be wrong with that? I mean, that's just how it works. But actually, we are not doing it, though. We are not doing it. We have a bunch of big streamers, though, that mentioned that they were interested in coming back to the Division for update 1.8, and that's cool. And we're like, yeah, sure, the guys, just come. And like, we support that. That's pretty cool, but we're not paying anyone. Really. We're not paying anyone to do that. Everybody that will be streaming update 1.8 will do that because they actually want to do it.
Yeah.
So just to be clear on that.
Cool. And we'll be completely honest with you if that ever happens in the future. And we have in the past, and all the streamers who have done that in the past, they always do the hashtag ad stuff. So, again, there's nothing to hide there.
And there you go. We're being called liars.
Is Marco getting paid?
Love you guys.
No, Marco's not getting paid.
Marco's not getting paid.
Nope.
Hire Marco already. Well, he's free to send an application.
We've told Marco that he should apply. Come on.
All right.
Anyway,
so update 1.8, quick recap of what is coming with update 1.8 for those of you that are potentially new and that are like, what are they talking about? What is this update 1.8 thing? So it's the next big update. It's actually the biggest free update that we've ever done on this game. So it's huge, as someone would say. And so it contains a new PvE mode, Resistance, that is, like kind of a horde mode type of thing. We also have a new PvP mode, Skirmish, 4-on-4, pure PvP experience. We have a kind of improvement to undergrounds with like Hunter showing up in underground, and now we actually have checkpoints. Also revamped the whole directive system. We have a Rogue 2.0 system, and we'll talk a bit more about that. Gear optimization features that allows you to improve your gear so you don't actually have to like constantly try to grind for this min-maxed god roll kind of piece. You actually get to improve it yourself. And we have new exotics coming. So that's kind of the rundown of what update 1.8 is. We will have patch notes going out on Monday, so we will have the complete list of everything, not just the content, but all the changes, bug fixes, and all of that. That will be coming out on Monday alongside the actual release date of the update. But again, the update comes out next week. Now, I'm actually not completely alone also on top of the fact that there is Hamish to my right. There's actually people, very tiny people in the screen in front of me, which feels weird because they're just like chatting for like the past 5 minutes already in my ear. And I'm like, guys, will you just shut the fuck up? So yeah, we actually have the folks from Restream on the line with us. Hello, guys. How are you doing? Can you unmute Ben, please?
Good to see you.
Hey.
Sorry for chatting in your ear.
That's fine.
I couldn't help it.
You know, I love you. I'm just kidding. So we have the dynamic duo, Terry and Keith, pointing at each other. How are you guys doing? So it's early morning for you guys.
Yeah, we just got up. No, we didn't.
No, it's not
true.
early morning, actually.
It's just it's earlier than your day.
Yeah.
They're,
We have children. We've
they're
been
so
up
nice
forever.
to not
Yeah.
tell me, like, dude, you actually just mixed up the time zones, but that's fine. All right, so why did we bring you guys in? It's basically because we kind of wanted to have a discussion about update 1.8, and especially one part of it that has been a big focus of the discussion of the community, which has been the Rogue 2.0 changes, right? There's been a lot of debate, there's been a lot of things said about it, and we've kind of mentioned also about what we were doing, but what maybe we could have done a bit of a better job at is trying to really explain why we're doing it and where that comes from, what is actually happening in the dark zone today, and why we think that it's needed to make these changes. So that's kind of what we wanted to talk about in this state of the game. So that's why we brought you guys in. Are you guys ready? Ready to talk about that?
Let's do it.
We're always ready.
So yeah, first, I mean, there's been a lot of discussions going on in the community about what are you doing, Hamish?
It's fine. You can keep
You're confusing me. That's fine. That's fine. Anyway, all right. So yeah, there's been a lot of discussions in the community, as I mentioned, about like the Rogue 2.0 changes, and like we know that it's a very polarizing debate. So yeah, first, like, you know, how did that go for you guys? Like, did you read everything? Did you?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, some great discussions, regardless of whether or not there is an agreement on either side, or it's just fantastic to have the discussion and see the passion. We know the Dark Zone and the Rogue mechanic specifically is a very unique element to the game, and it's a very polarizing element. So it's been really cool to interact with the community about it.
Yeah. And I guess in a way, when it comes to like rogue mechanics and the Dark Zone, we know that the Dark Zone is a very sensible part of the game anyway. So I guess.
Sorry, guys,
in a way
have
we
myself
probably
muted.
expected
I don't want to
that,
talk
you know,
over 'em.
people would have very strong opinions about it.
Yep.
For sure.
So,
Yeah, we're very excited about the change. And in fact, I think we're going to cover some data later. But what's very interesting to me is that we have this great analytics team, and we've been monitoring the Dark Zone since launch.
Yeah.
And what's great is that we have a vocal community, but we also get so much data and information from player actions.
Oh, yeah.
You know, what they actually do in the game.
Yeah.
And, you know, based on that, that's a part of the reason why it was time for this change.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to work out. I
Yeah.
really do.
And it's just one of those things where, you know, the time comes where, you know, we're this live game. We need to always be evolving. That's what live games are all about. And we were looking at all the data and just felt like this was the moment.
Yeah, if you have a live game, there's no evolution, right? Then you're not really a live game. So steps, knob turns, and that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because that's one thing that I think we've seen a lot in the discussion was the fact that like there were again a lot of voices that would go either way in the discussion, and some people felt like they were not being listened to. But that's one big part of all the balancing and all the like updating work that we do on a live game is also it's as much as we listen to the community as much as we can, there's also a big part of like in-game data that we look at and like what are the people actually doing in the game.
Absolutely.
Which is also something that we need to take into account. So
That's absolutely right.
that's one of these situations here where like the data is not necessarily completely in line with like the feedback we would get, and like we need to kind of try to find the right balance between that. So talking about that, so yeah, as we said, we've mentioned the data, so yeah, maybe we can bring them up and we can look at that. I mean, we had this one thing that we wanted to show you guys, and so we have it on screen now. So do you guys want to talk about that, about this graph that we're showing now?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Do you want to kick it off?
Sure. What you guys are seeing here is it's player death, and we have 3 brackets. I'm looking at it on my screen. Also, you have the red bracket is players that die by rogue, right? And the green bracket are essentially rogues that die by players, and then the orange one, the orange section, is players that die by AI. And so you can see over the course of this is launch of the game up until after 1.7.
Yeah.
Pretty much till a week ago.
Yeah, and so you can take a look at the ratios, and there's some very interesting things here.
So
Things that
basically,
did not.
sorry. So basically, when you take red plus green, that's PvP death, right? And
That's
orange
correct.
is PvE death.
As PVE death, yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
And you can see how it's just, consistently climbed throughout the life of the game,
Yeah.
right? And now we're living in this world that was never really the intent.
Yeah.
We talked about the data, Yannick, and we've gathered tons of analytics, and we've gathered tons of feedback from the vocal community, and sent out obviously tons of surveys.
Yes.
And the information that we get back from our most hardcore group of players is that they want a 50-50 split.
Yeah.
In the dark zone between PvE and PvP.
Yeah.
And you can see that we haven't had anything close to a 50-50 split since about 1.2.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, there's tons of reasons, right? It's a very complicated beast, the dark zone. So why things fluctuate as
what loot motivations
Exactly.
people were going after.
Yeah, exactly.
Last stand coming in. There's all sorts of things that shift play patterns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But 1.2 is kind of an interesting hallmark.
Yeah. We don't like the fact that the dark zone is dominated by PvP at this point, 75%, of deaths.
Yeah.
And that's a big reason for the change.
Absolutely.
Now, it's a step towards the change. It's not like we think the rogue toggle is going to magically make a 50-50 split balance, right? Because like we said, it's complicated, but
But that's the magic of the live game.
yeah, it's an iteration, it's an evolution, it's a knob turn.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And one other thing that we can see in this graph, can you bring it up, Hamish, again? Yeah. The other thing I think that's interesting is just looking at also when you look at the red and the green, so the rogue kills versus the non-rogue kills. So you can see that there is way more rogue kills, right? Than non-rogue.
Yes.
Yeah, double in fact.
Yeah.
And we've talked about it here. I feel like we've said it a couple of times in interviews around State of the Game. That's the rogue advantage.
Yep.
Right? It's their ability, it's rogues' abilities to pick when and where, and to make sure that everything is ready and in their favor for combat.
Yeah.
And because there is no activation, because there's no warning, that means the non-rogues essentially start a combat at half health.
Yep.
And boy, that's just very difficult to overcome. And we're seeing players, because of that, and because of a lot of other factors, right? We're seeing less people engage with the dark zone.
Yeah.
It's a big part of our game. It's an exciting place. We want people to visit it. There's
Players who are going in there spend a lot of time in there.
yeah, people are passionate about it. I can't give specific numbers, or I'm not comfortable giving specific numbers, but the division game activity, right, it's positive.
Yes.
It's remaining steady, and like you said, the Black Friday sales, it's going up, right?
Yeah.
So overall game activity is awesome, right? But Dark Zone is shrinking,
Yeah.
and that's not cool. And it's because the balance, we believe, the balance is wrong.
Yep. With the rogue advantage, I mean, that's a big part of the toggle and where the idea of the toggle came from, right? Like now, if a rogue wants to toggle right in front of you, you have that chance to get the upper hand on them.
Yep.
But if they're smart and they activate around the corner and they proc their talents, well, now it's at least a more fair fight than it was before. And we think that's really going to improve overall PvP for everyone.
Yeah, and signs and feedback to non-rogue players when someone goes rogue near them, right? So we improved that. So it's going to be a good step.
Yep.
Right? A good evolution. We're looking forward to watching it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so it's really like if you don't want to, engage in PvP, you have more chances to actually try to avoid these kind of engagements because you will, know when someone's going rogue or like.
Yep.
Yeah. So one thing also, and we got a lot of feedback. One of the situations, I think.
What's going on? Right, stream's just frozen. Give me a second. Okay, Twitch is just frozen. Damn I don't know what's going on with Twitch on the Xbox today for me. It's going really bad. There's some work going on outside. I hope they're not working on
when
my...
we watch, players in the live game, you have groups that are performing the loops that they want to perform. Could be landmarks, could be D-Tech, it could be, supply drops or PvP, right?
Yeah.
And so everyone is fluctuating throughout this ginormous, it's over a third of the game play space, right?
Yeah.
So players are a lot more spread out in the live game, generally speaking.
Yeah, and the people who want to do the PvP, well, they're more congregated, but it's not the entire server generally.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, I guess what we see is that usually the people that do go on the PTS is already a specific type of players, right? So it's then you're missing out on all the rest of the community, all the rest of the players that may not engage with the PTS, may not want to, take the time to do that.
Yeah, it's a hardcore group of players that we get awesome, really good feedback out of.
That's important to note. Yeah.
Exactly. We get a ton of good stuff out of the PTS. Lots of little changes went into this system and a ton of other systems from PTS feedback, but it's this small group of the overall player base that Terry was talking about.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess what's the good thing about having put that on the PTS, even though we are not necessarily doing all the changes that the PTS crowd has been asking for, is that it still gave you some indications on things to look at once this actually goes live, right?
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely. When it does go live, I'm looking forward to monitoring, how often are people going rogue? What's the death ratio now after this happens? Regarding manhunt, right? Because that's a change we haven't talked about really too much on this particular state of the game. How many people complete a manhunt successfully?
What level are they completing their manhunt at? Or have people decided that, actually manhunt 2 is about as long as of an interact as I can survive, so that's where we're stopping at, right?
Yeah.
Or are people consistently going at the max manhunt?
Yeah. Or are players just not caring at all about manhunts, regardless of the, reward loops that we put in there? So we'll be watching all that stuff.
Yeah. So, and I think that's the very important message that we want to give to you guys actually is just that, and I think that's what Terry was mentioning at the beginning. It's like, this is a live game, right? So it's just like, it's really, this kind of change is really something that we want to put on the live game more than just the PTS. And then, of course, we're going to make changes if we see that it doesn't work or it doesn't work the way we intended it to. So that's really something that's going to potentially evolve then if we see that it's needed.
You look at any live game, right? Continued evolution, right? Continued iteration, and obviously that's important, right? To listen to the feedback, to pay attention to data, and that's what we do, and that's our intent, and we continue to want to do that to make the game better for all of us.
Yeah, because I'm definitely looking forward to playing at some undisclosed time next week.
See what you did there. I like that.
Whenever
me too.
that
That's
could
gonna
be.
be awesome.
Whenever that could be.
Yeah.
All right. I see that we have a lot of reactions to the rogue discussion in chat, but are just similar to discussions we've seen during the PTS anyway. And we know that you guys have very strong opinions about that. It ranges from this game is awesome to this game is going to die after 1.8 and all the spectrum in between. So I think that's just something we'll have to kind of wait until, again, some undisclosed date next week and see how that goes, and then make all the changes needed. If
it's going to be next Tuesday, I think, guys.
But we are definitely finishing this and feeling incredibly confident about what's going out there. Like, we feel really good about it.
Yeah.
So.
And time will tell, obviously, but give it time, right?
Yeah.
The day it releases is not the day to pass judgment, right? And to say, I told you so, you stupid devs, whatever that you might say, but data takes time to collect and aggregate, and so we'll let player actions and behaviors tell us the story.
Exactly.
Yeah.
GK that is asking, didn't this game died with 1.3? Don't worry, this game died with every single update.
Forever and always.
Every single update was the update
deaths.
that was going to kill the game. So.
But every death just makes it stronger and bigger.
That's right.
Exactly. It's beautiful. Oh my god. All right. let's talk about other stuff. So there were a few other things in the 1.8 and on the PTS that we wanted to talk about, just because they're cool things that we wanted to bring up, and also because the community has been talking about them and maybe wasn't sure exactly what made it to the live game. So I wrote them down here, but like movement changes, for example. There were a bunch of those.
Yeah, I mean, the big one really was, we talked about it way back at 1.7.1. There was the change to turn speed, movement speed. That has been adjusted on the PTS. Those changes are going live. Feeling pretty good about them. It's not quite up to the pre-1.7.1 turn speed, and that's to kind of fix some kind of perceived lag, desync issues that we were seeing, and kind of make the game feel, give you a little more control, deliberate control over your character. So we're feeling good about that, and those will be in 1.8.
Yep.
Cool. The other thing is, and that's also the topic that ties into global events, and I guess especially with the fact that we haven't done a global event in a while, unfortunately. We had said we wanted to make them monthly, but in the end we couldn't. So of course people had to kind of grind classified through, out of global event, drop rates and all of that. So there's been a lot of discussions about what are we doing to improve that kind of experience.
Yeah, and there's a lot of stuff dropping with 1.8 for that. So all name bosses across the whole game, Underground, DZ, Open World, Resistance, anything you're playing with a name boss, they have a chance to drop classified gear. We also added classified drops to the new PvP ranks we've added. So you used to be able to get up to 40 in your last stand rank. That's called PvP rank now. And now at 45, 50, 55, 60, you'll be getting classified caches just to kind of help fill in the sets you've been collecting. And then, one of the biggest ones I think is in Resistance. You can find purchasable Resistance crates with in-game currency. And those are crates that are exclusively filled with the more rare loot. And so that's a really good way for, do a targeted grind. It's a difficult grind because that content's difficult, but if you can get in there, it's a very targeted classified grind.
Yeah, just to clarify that a little bit, right? For those of you that haven't played Resistance on the PTS, you earn Shade Tech, and it's session-based, right? So as you're playing Resistance, you're earning Shade Tech from enemies you kill, and you use that Shade Tech to open areas, to activate fortifications, but maybe you're so good that you don't need to do that, and so you're still going to accumulate Shade Tech. We put these crates in that are pretty costly. I'm just going to say costly.
They raise in cost the more you use them. It is something you really have to focus in.
That's new. I haven't seen that yet.
So you can make a choice to use your Shade Tech for loot specific stuff rather than fortifications. It's a gameplay choice, but it's also another way, like he said, to grind out this rarer loot.
Yeah, and we also know that we have the 2 other global events coming out soon. Those will release all of the remaining classified sets. So, the way we're looking at this right now is we have our drop rates that we're feeling pretty good about with all the new ways you can get them and everything. Once that whole classified loot pool is out there, the rates will go up, right? Because we know that grind will become harder as more stuff is introduced.
Yeah. We're not necessarily into it to make it super hard.
Yeah.
We just want to cast a wide net, and give you a lot of options to work towards and optimize with.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, that's great, because that's been one of the big concerns when people started doing the math about the drop rates, and like once you have all the possible classified in the rates, in the drop rates and everything, or in the pool, then it becomes kind of crazy. So it's good to hear that.
I think of all the name bosses in the game.
Oh yeah.
Whether it's the revamped Underground, which is going to be hot, right? Just how often I come across a name boss there, the landmarks in the Dark Zone on fire, right?
Yep.
That's going to be fantastic.
And some of those, resistance waves, you're fighting multiple bosses at a time, up to 4 bosses at a time. So that gives you a lot of chances as well.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
If you can kill them, all right. The last thing I have on my list is about exotic weapons, because there was a full pass that was done on that, right?
Yes.
You want to talk about it?
Go for it.
1.6 introduced a ton of really cool new exotic talents on all the weapons, and as the game continued to evolve, along with data tracking, we saw their use continue to dip. I heard the community talk about it. We want them to be awesome. We've all collected them. We want to be able to use them. The showstopper, things like that are super awesome weapons. So pretty much the way the rebalance has worked is, you have your non-exotic, say LMG, right? The exotic LMG is always going to be a damage increase off of that, right? It's always going to be inherently slightly better of a damage increase. But those talents are a little more specialized, right? So maybe you can make up the DPS with a different talent on a non-exotic gear. But the goal is all exotic weapons are much more useful, and we want them to become a normal part of your loadouts.
So buff them.
Just buff them.
Yep.
The showstopper is super awesome with Lone Star. It's ridiculous.
I love the showstopper. It should be in every Lone Star build.
Yeah.
Just saying. There was one that wasn't buffed though. The Pacan.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
What happened? What have you done?
Yeah, the P-Dog, the pecan. Yeah, I mean, the pecan.
The pecan?
No, that's just what I call it.
I'm glad you said it, because I would have said it wrong.
No. That one was out of balance.
Yeah. I mean, really, the thing there is everything else got raised up to be a consistent damage increase off the base weapon. And even after that bump, the pecan was still above that. So that one got a slight decrease, but that's just to kind of create an overall balance that is good, and we don't have any one super standout weapon that becomes the go-to.
Yeah.
We want you to give you choices, not force what weapons you need to use.
Yeah, based on mathematics.
Mathematics.
All right.
That's it.
Yeah, but I'm excited. I have my whole collection of exotics, and I will start using them very soon.
I've got a huge collection of exotics that I don't use.
Whenever
This
that
will be
is.
interesting.
Whenever that is. One thing I've seen some people mentioning in the chat, and I just wanted to answer because people have been asking for a while, and like crazy, yeah, it's here. Xbox One X. Just wanted to confirm, guys, we have something that will be coming for the Xbox One X. It's just not with update 1.8. So we will be, whatever, how you call that, be patching the game to support the Xbox One X. So it's prettier. But it's just not coming with update 1.8. So we don't have a date yet when this will be coming, but it will be coming.
Yep.
Just wanted to say. All right, was there something else I wanted to mention? No, I think I'm pretty much done. I'm done with my notes at least. What about you guys? Anything you wanted to
No, that's good, man.
say?
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for letting us come on and explain some things.
Well, thank you guys for taking the time. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. So just as a recap, the most important part, because I see some people that just tuned in during the stream and didn't get the information at the beginning, update 1.8 is confirmed, release next week. The exact date will be announced on Monday. We cannot confirm the exact day of the week when it will be released, but it's definitely coming out next week.
Just confirm it, man. Do it.
I confirm that it's next week, and I confirm that it may be on a usual day where we usually release updates next week.
Peer pressure.
That's
Good.
it.
Yes.
And that's
All
it.
right.
That's
It's next
all I will say.
Tuesday.
And
It's
now
going to be
I
next
need my
Tuesday, the
lawyer.
5th.
So you're saying it's not Monday? Yes, Deep Friday. Dave. I'm saying it's not Monday.
What? But how do you know?
It's so that's you have 6 chances out of 7. So
I guess we'll see.
that's pretty much it.
But yes,
Sunday.
I'm
Yeah,
excited.
Let's do it.
And also, I saw. Did you see Matt in chat? Hey, man. What's up? We miss you. How's
Matt's in chat?
Yeah, Matt Shotch is here. Everyone, show some love
nice.
for that guy. We miss you. Hope Siege is going well.
All right. Well, anyway, so yeah, thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you guys for coming to the State of the Game. Yeah. And also, just as we mentioned was it 2 weeks ago, that we talked about the State of the Games and that we are not necessarily going to make them on a weekly basis. Just to give you an update, next week we'll definitely have a State of the Game, I think, because depending, the update may or may not have been released by then, but we will want to talk about it anyway, I'm pretty sure. Seen what I did there?
Yeah, that was perfect.
And also we want to give you an update on the global event, give you the exact dates when this is going to start, what's going to be, the rewards and all of that. So definitely State of the Game next week. I don't know for the weeks after that. We will see. We will decide on a case-based basis.
Dude, I'm mega excited about next week. Next week is going
Oh, here we go.
to be...
I haven't given the date. That's fine. I'm not
Alright.
fired.
Yeah,
Okay,
Yannick fired.
Twitch stream is lagging.
Right.
All right. Anyway, so yeah, thank you guys at Redstorm. Thank you guys at home or whatever you're doing. Don't watch the state of the game while you drive, please. So I hope nobody's driving. Just make sure that you park before you do that.
Well, you can listen to the podcast.
You can listen to the
This will be up
podcast.
on as a podcast in like half an hour.
Well, commitment, half an hour. Now you just like
All right, I've set the timer for myself.
now you have to like shut it down and like rush to your desk. And
I will do it.
All right. Anyway.
Do it for the community.
So yeah, thank you guys, and we'll be seeing you next week. All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, there we go. It looks like it's going to be next Tuesday. I can't guarantee that, but if they're saying that they're going to be a state of the game about it on Thursday, discussing what's being released, it's definitely going to be Tuesday, isn't it? So we're looking at the 5th as a release date. So exciting times, and I like the sound of the crates that you can buy in resistance mode that are going to give you rarer gear. So you can use the shade tech that you earn in resistance mode in the Camp Clinton, the West Side Piers area, either on the carrier or the furnace building, whatever it's called, or the dockside buildings, to open crates that give you rare gear, and that's going to give you, well, yeah, that's going to give you classifieds by the sound of it and exotics. So, and you can buy those using your shade tech rather than using the shade tech to upgrade the fortifications, either the turrets or the pulse stations or the healing stations. So if you haven't played the 1.8 resistance, that's going to be a good way to earn up classifieds and exotics. I like the sound of that. So I'm looking forward to it. I'll be able to open all my exotic caches next week. I've got over 100 of those saved up now. What does everyone think? Excited for it? Oh, and the other thing, of course, we've got the buffs to the exotics. All the exotics, the existing ones, are going to be better damage than the base weapons that they come from. So, except for the Pac-Am, which has had its damage reduced because it was already too powerful. So things like the Warlord, for example, is going to be more powerful than the AK. There's going to be, well, it's going to be interesting. It's definitely going to be interesting. We do need some better exotics in terms of, like, we don't have an exotic bolt action sniper. We ought to have one of those in the game. There's some things they need to add to those, but it sounds brilliant. And I'm dead excited for 1.8 coming out. And I'm glad they're dropping it next week, because PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds comes out on the 12th. And if they were dropping it on the 12th instead of the 5th, I'd probably be playing PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. So this gives me a week to play around with 1.8 and get some builds together. Unfortunately, they're not going to drop the you don't have to buy anything, Austin. 1.8 and Resistance is free. It's all free, mate. There's nothing you need to buy. The 1.8 update is free, and Resistance is part of the 1.8 update. It's free to play, free for everyone, so you don't have to worry about that. Yeah, so you're going to enjoy it. The Resistance expansion is really, really good. What's up, Joshua? How you doing, man? The only thing I'm really gutted about is that the global event is going to drop the week after the update drops, right? So that means that's going to drop around about the 12th, I would have thought. So if they're dropping the global event maybe on the 12th, that's the same day as PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds comes out, and I'm going to be playing PlayerUnknowns. So I'm gutted. I'm going to have to make a choice between the two, or kind of, I don't know, mix and match, maybe play half and half. But I really need to grind the hell out of the global event. No, 1.8 is not out. It's coming out next week. They won't give a day, Joshua, but it's going to be Tuesday. So it's going to be the 5th it's coming out. I'm sure of it. Everything they've hinted at, They said it's not coming out Monday, and they said they're going to do a state of the game next Thursday about the update, so will be out at that point. So it's definitely going to come out on Tuesday. So there will be an update Tuesday morning, and the game is going to come out Tuesday morning. Well, I'm going to have to divide my time. Resistance is a new game mode, Austin. Yeah, there are 3 areas in the new West Side Piers area, which is at the top left of the map that they're opening up. Let me drop out of this. I need to get out of Twitch. Yeah, in the top right of the map. In fact, I'm going to load into the division, just show you where it is quickly. Sorry, top left of the map, there's a new area opening up which is called West Side Piers, okay, and there's a social hub there, social area with everything in it, you know, vendors and optimization station and stuff like that, where you can put your builds together. In that area, the AIs have a new dynamic spawning system. Basically, all of the factions, the LMB, the Rikers and the Cleaners, are now working together in that area. So when you come across a group of AIs, you could be facing Cleaners, Rikers and LMB all in a group, right? So you could be facing anything. And there's a kind of a dynamic spawn system where they appear all over the place around you. As you're moving through the area, they are everywhere. And there are objectives that you can take on in that area to fight them as well, to achieve certain goals. But also in that area in West Side Piers, there are 3 places. One of them's an aircraft carrier, there's a dockside area, and there's a building where you go into and you have to fight waves of enemies coming in. And as you fight the waves, they drop something called Shade Tech, which is the same as you get in Last Stand, the Shade Tech that used to open up turrets and pulse stations and things. Okay, and there are turrets and pulse stations and healing stations available to you. Right, and you have to fight off in a group of up to 4, so you can play it solo or you can play it with up to 4 players. You have to fight off wave after wave of enemies, which get increasingly hard. Now, the Shade Tech that they drop in the 1.8 PTS, the Shade Tech that they drop, you could only use to open up these fortifications, so either turrets, healing stations or pulse stations, right, to give you bonus perks for you and your group. But they've just announced as well that there are going to be crates that you can buy in the areas now as well. So if you don't want to use Shade Tech, or you only want to use some of it, you can save the rest and you can buy crates which will give you harder to get gear, rare gear. So you'll be able to get classifieds and exotics from these crates that you can buy. Hello Will, what's up man? Marcel, you're welcome. You're welcome. So I'm dead excited for it. I really enjoyed playing on the 1.8 PTS, and the resistance mode is a hell of a lot of fun. It really is. It's an absolute hell of a lot of fun. I had a wonderful time playing it. Really enjoyed it. Oh, Marcel, thank you for the sub, mate. Right, I'll show you on the map where it is, Austin. Obviously, I can't take you there in the game because the PTS is closed now. So I'm not able to get into the new area. But if I go to the map, okay. So at the moment you have the map ending here, right?
Uploading.
Now, when you go to the new area, you have a social... You can't get to this part of the map here now, right? But when you go to West Side Piers, this is the West Side Piers area here. This is the area of the map that's opening up. You have social space down here, it's about here, called Camp Clinton, and this is kind of where you start out from. About here on the left side, I think it's just there, there is an aircraft carrier docked, sorry. Parked's not the right word for an aircraft carrier, is it? And you can go into the aircraft carrier and there is a resistance mode on there where you fight your way through the aircraft carrier, opening up different areas and try and fight off wave after wave. And there are some interesting twists to it as well. Every 5 waves, I think it is, you get a boss wave. Wave 15, the boss wave, contains hunters like you get in survival, except they are a lot tougher than the ones you get in survival, or in fact in the new 1.8 underground. Because now in underground, in 1.8, you get hunters, but the hunters in underground are similar to the ones in survival. They're unarmoured. Okay, but you get one more in underground. You get one more hunter than there are in your group. So if you've got a group of 4 people, there will be 5 hunters to kill. If it's 2 of you, there will be 3 hunters to kill. One of you, if you're in underground on your own, there'll be 2 hunters to kill. But they're pretty easy because they're unarmored. Okay, but the hunters that come on resistance mode have 10 bars of armor, and there are 3 of them. On wave 15, for example, there are 3 hunters and they have 10 bars of armor each. They are evil. They are incredibly hard to kill. Especially if you're running solo or just a couple of you, it's really tough to take them down. It's not so bad in a group of 4. You can do it a bit more easily because you can focus fire them one at a time and take them out, but it really is difficult. No, it's when the update drops, mate. When the update drops. So resistance will be available next Tuesday. Well, I'm saying next Tuesday. They haven't given the day, but I'm sure it's going to be next Tuesday. From everything they've given, all the hints they gave today, it will be next Tuesday. So I'm dead excited for that. And on top of the aircraft carrier, by the way, you've got another one, which is, I think, on this pier here. You come in here, there's an entrance there, and out on this pier here, and some buildings around here, there's another resistance mode, and there's another one just about here, in some buildings here. Now the best one I've played so far, the most fun one I played, was the carrier. I really enjoyed the carrier and this one here, whatever it's called. Both brilliant fun. Really brilliant fun. In fact, if you want to see resistance mode, if you go back through my previous videos back to about 3 weeks ago, just look at the dates they were issued, and there will be some saying the 1.8 PTS resistance mode. Go and have a look at it, because you'll see what I mean about how much fun it is. And resistance drops an awful lot of stuff as well. You get a lot of rewards for playing resistance. There's a hell of a lot of stuff that drops. I mean, I was not able to pick up all the caches that were dropping for me, so yeah. Alright guys, well, I don't think there's anything else to say at the moment. Just be excited for it. Next Tuesday there will be 1.8 dropping. There will be resistance mode, there will be the whole new, obviously, PvP mode, 4 versus 4 skirmish will be available. There'll be various changes to things like the movement system. Your toughness will now be much different. You'll get 30 points of toughness per point of stamina instead of 15 points of toughness per point of stamina. So it's now possible to put builds together with 600,000-700,000 toughness. So that's going to make a difference to the way you make your builds and the way you play your game. I will be dropping some build videos once 1.8 is live and I've collected some stuff, especially once I've got new gear. I think I'll start saving up some survival caches for dropping new gear with stamina on instead of the stuff I've already got, which is already, everything I use is pretty much rolled to firearms and electronics. So I will be making some new builds that are involving stamina in a much more predominant way, and I'll drop some build videos for you lot so you can have a look at what I'm doing and see if there's anything you can take from that and use for yourselves. So I'm going to end the stream here, guys. How does the new gear score work, Stephen? The new gear score works basically, you get current gear scores 256, right? Now gear from now on, from 1.8, will drop with a score. If you're in a 256 bracket, it will drop with a score between 256 and 293, I think it is. Okay, so, and that depends on how well optimized it is. So let's say you've got a submachine gun, okay, but it's quite low base damage for a submachine gun. Say its base damage range at your DPS, at your firearms level, would range between 20 and 22k, right? And it was its base damage was at 20k. Its critical hit chance was only at, I don't know, 17%. Okay, that would come in at a very low gear score. It would come in at something like 256, 260, right? But if it was a really well optimized one before you did anything to it, say it had a critical hit chance of 23% and its base damage was, I don't know, 21.5k, where 22 is its maximum it can be, then it would come in at maybe a 278 gear score or something like that. So there would, stuff that you pick up will drop with different gear scores. No, I think skill haste is still going to count, Marcel. We'll have to see and experiment with it. Now, the other thing about your gear now, of course, you've got the optimization station. Now, the optimization station is very cool. If you get a piece of gear drop, and let's say it's 500 points away from maximum base damage, and it's 21%, it's an SMG, let's say, and it's 21% crit hit chance, you can go to the optimization station and you can optimize it as many times as it takes to get it up to maximum. So you can raise your weapons and your gear up to maximum, but be warned, it is damn expensive. It doesn't sound overly expensive when you talk about it. I mean, it's 250,000 credits, or at least it was on the PTS, and 50 division tech to do one optimization. But if you've got a low scoring piece of gear, say it's a piece of armor, and it's the maximum armor level you can have on that piece of armor is 1001, right? But yours is only 872. You might have to optimize it 10 times to bring it up to maximum armor level. So it's then going to cost you 2,500,500 division tech to upgrade that one piece of armor to maximum. Now, on the PTS, in the space of a week, I spent 120 million credits and 17,000, I think it was, division tech. Now, division tech was free on the PTS. You could use as much as you wanted, but I got through, in 1 week, I got through 120 million credits and 17,000 division tech. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I've only got about 3,000 gold division tech saved up. So optimization is going to be something you're going to pick and choose very carefully, what you optimize and how you optimize. Personally, I'm going to save my division tech. Apart from upgrading my striker gear and a couple of weapons, I'm going to save my division tech for the new gear sets that drop. I particularly want to upgrade a Nomad set and a Predator's Mark set and a D3 FNC set to maximum. So I want to make sure I've got enough division tech left for doing that. I've got plenty of money. I've got 361 million credits, so I can cope with the cost of using the optimization station for money, but the division tech is going to run out dead fast. And if you haven't been doing it, you should be farming division tech right now. Everywhere you can think of that there's division tech in the dark zone, you should be going in there and just trying to get all the division tech you can. Everybody else is doing it though, so you know you're going to find it hard to come by. But have a look at the map in my stream description. That will show you where all the division tech is in the dark zone, and outside the dark zone there's plenty of it to be found. Obviously one issue is you can only carry a maximum of 4,000 division tech at the moment. I don't know if they're changing that in 1.8. We'll have to see. Anyway, I'm going to end this stream, fellas. I'll be back on shortly with another little bit of a live stream. Not sure what I'll be doing. I might go and do a bit of my weekly assignments, or go and do some world boss runs or anything like that. I don't know. I might even go farm a bit of division tech around the dark zone, actually. I don't even know where my PvP build is though, so I might just keep my PvE build on and go and do it with that. But anyway, I've got to finish this one because this is State of the Game stream. The State of the Game is over. I don't think there's anything much more we can say. Just looking forward to playing it next week, and I hope you guys are too. I'll see you in a bit.